There are many genres of music that people dislike. Country, classic rock, punk, pop punk, disco, ska, third wave, ska, reggae, reggaeton, dub, dubstep, rap, trap, hip-hop, dance, dance punk, whatever the hell the Beatles fall under. The list truly goes on for miles. But with all these genres, it seems that one is often the target of unadulterated hate. That tends to be K-pop. Now, I just want to add a fat asterisk here before the goddamn stands, I'll explain later, come out of their grimy little holes and say I don't necessarily hate the genre itself. I believe there can be some good music from any genre. Music is subjective and people have their tastes. But what really pisses me off is the culture, fan base, and overall industry that surrounds the genre of K-pop. Let me explain to you what the hell K-pop is. K-pop is a genre that has gathered from influences around the world. It originated from South Korea around the 1990s, but really took off in the early 2000s. According to an article on Billboard titled The Root of K-pop, the influences of today's biggest acts, the first generation of idol groups were boy bands such as Hot and Seshies. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Which really kickstarted the genre into using the same formula over and over. Get some hip-hop leads, put a cool little dance track on there, add some crazy looking hair, and you're pretty much good to go. There's not much innovation in that sense, as it all boils down to the same dull meat and potatoes. But it sells like goddamn hotcakes, dog! According to 17.com, the members of BTS, one of the most popular idol groups, is worth a combined amount of approximately $60 million. That's a lot of cash, my dude. Here's the thing though, that's for the top of the top. Most idols never see this much cash until later into their careers, or even at all. Here's why. The word of the day is slave contracts. Most of these groups don't start making money until they star in a group, which could potentially take up to 8 years. In an interview with No Cut News, June Yule of the group Stellar said this: "We didn't have money for rides, and it was a difficult situation to the point that we'd have to share one order of food among all of us. They had to work their asses off, and they aren't even getting paid for it. That's worse than getting paid for exposure. That's, well, a slave contract. You've signed and you've practically signed your life away." And even before the idols get placed into a group, they have to audition for agencies, ones such as JYP Entertainment, SM, or YG, just to name the top 3. But once they get past the auditions, they become the trainee by signing a contract, and these slave contracts lock them into the choice of working up to 10 years to become an idol, or face the possibility of having to pay back what the agencies spent on them. This puts the trainees into an incredibly stressful environment. Most of them are going to school at the same time. According to Rojak Daily, for those who are students, their daily schedules could start as early as 5 a.m. and end as late as 1 a.m. the next day. Talk about burning the candle at both ends. Well, in this case it'd be more like straight up dancing yourself to death. Also, according to Rojak Daily, many idols have to undergo a strict diet to keep in form. The article reads, Nine Muses is an idol group who is known to follow a paper cup diet. This unusual plan basically requires you to fill a small disposable cup with any food, of course it has to be healthy, to maintain a very controlled food proportion and keep you in shape. Sexual exploitation is also pretty damn rampant in this industry. Plastic surgery is an incredibly large industry in South Korea. Idols are often expected to undergo surgery to appeal to the idolization of audiences. In an article by Telegraph UK detailing the cosmetic surgery industry, it says that Seoul has earned a reputation as Asia's plastic surgery capital, with more than 500 clinics in Gangnam alone, and close to 1 million procedures carried out every year. In an interview with SBS, Jung Cheon of IOI and DIA said that it was my nose that I did. I gained double eyelids when I was in middle school. To clarify, double eyelid surgery is where a crease is inserted into the eyelids to make them look bigger. That's incredible. Middle school. Jeez. In an article by Stephen Epstein and Rachel M. Ju for the Asia Pacific Journal, they wrote, "In the last decade, the exposed nude torso has become a near requisite for male talents. Not only relative unknowns attempting to promote themselves in commercial media through their looks, but also well-known male stars hoping to maintain their mongap. Literally means body price. It's become the commonplace for idols or those trying to become them to place a market value on their bodies, such as the saying goes, sex sells." If you think the exploitation stops there, nah playa, think again. What's worse than a rabid fanbase? A rabid fanbase that knows no sign of common decency. K-pop fans are possibly some of the craziest fan bases of this century. That's right, crazier than Christians, and we all know how crazy the Christian fan base is. Stan, or Stans, are known in the internet community as particularly obsessive fans, aptly named after a track by rap artist Eminem, where the story of the song follows a man by the name of Stan, who obsessively copies and writes to the rapper. Ultimately, he kills himself and his girlfriend in the end of the song. Constantly, tweets spew out about standing the latest BTS or GOT7 album, where fans release an outpour of obsession for the idol group members. If you acknowledge the obsessive behavior in any form of criticism, there is a chance to be blasted by armies of fans, and it doesn't stop there though. In South Korea, the most obsessive fans are called private fans, or sasaeng. According to an article by Yahoo Singapore, the idol group TVXQ had phone lines tapped and personal conversations recorded. Their apartment has been broken into, and one of the members has even been poisoned by what they call an anti-fan. We'll get into that last one shortly. Another group called JYJ has had menstrual blood delivered to them, as well as fans installing spy cameras in one of the members' parking lots with pictures being taken of them. While fan bases are not inherently bad, large ones tend to have quite a few collectives of crazies. Within the K-pop fan bases, among the fans and stans, are something much worse. Anti-fans. Anti-fans are what could be considered the haters of that community. There have been documented cases of anti-fans pulling dangerous stunts in order to hurt members of the idol groups. I said earlier that a member of the group TVXQ had been poisoned. Let's get into that. According to an article by All K-pop titled 10 Chilling Instances of Anti-Fan Attacks, Yoonhoo, the idol group member of TVXQ, was given a glass of orange juice by a fan, but it actually contained glue. He ended up hospitalized for several days after getting violently sick. Another case of anti-fan degeneracy occurred after Jay Park, who had recently left the group 2PM. Anti-fans were so enraged that they created a petition for him to commit suicide. Do you know how crazy that is? They were so mad that he left an idol group to further his own career that they wanted him to actually kill himself. That's disgusting, man. It really is. I forgot to mention that the petition managed to get 3,000 signatures before getting taken down from the internet. On its own, the K-pop genre isn't necessarily bad. It can be a pretty bland genre, but again, not the subjectively worst genre. It's pop at its core, and it's going to attack the market with the most marketable sound at the time. Alright, I can already see people having buts or ifs about all this, so I'm just going to squash those before they even come up in the comment section. First but, BTS hasn't had any of those things happen. Yes, because BTS is the biggest group right now, it makes sense, because they're making the most money, that none of this stuff would happen to them. I mean, aside from the crazy fans and shit. But these agencies don't do that. Yeah, that doesn't mean other agencies aren't doing that. They all need to be held accountable and looked at with scrutiny. And also, on top of that, the big three have their own issues. For example, YG doesn't allow dating for their trainees, traveling, or they don't even allow their artists to drive. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. A former trainee from SM Entertainment claimed that one way they trained for singing was by doing sit-ups while someone hits them in the stomach in order to develop muscle and vocal power. Yeah, I mean... That's fucked up. Here's another one. But they choose to do it. That doesn't mean it's okay. They're young when they audition and would probably not understand the full circumstances. Think about it. When you're young and you want to be a star, you're going to do whatever it takes. You're going to sign that shitty contract that fucking makes you not have a real ass life. And additionally, they may be encouraged because other K-pop idols did it before them. It makes sense why they would sign it. It's just they probably didn't have the forethought. Does not mean it's okay. Alright, I got another one that might come up. What's wrong with plastic surgery or body modifications? What's wrong with changing yourself to be who you want to be? Honest answer? Nothing. If you want to change yourself, go for it. I think you have a right to be whoever you want to be. My problem is that it's the industry that targets young individuals in this sense to kind of promote this, you're imperfect and you need to get surgery to be better. And I don't like that. Is that what they actually want? Who's to say that agencies aren't pushing for it? Because they clearly are. Some are, saying you gotta look better to be an idol. One thing though, I will say, there is one company that doesn't that prohibits plastic surgery, and I believe that's YG. Yeah, I'm pretty sure YG prohibits plastic surgery, which, good for them. I'll give them that one. Alright, here's another one that may pop up, but other entertainment industries sexualize and predate on artists. Yeah, no shit. Check the title. We're talking about K-pop. So if you say that, you're a fucking dumbass. The biggest one that I think will pop up is you're xenophobic. I'm going to just read what I wrote because this is the easiest way to just get out. I know there's a chance someone may say this as it seems ready to be sling word by hardcore stans and fans. Hold the frickin' phone there, boys and girls, because I'm about to get hella serious. Xenophobic means having or showing a dislike of or prejudice against people from other countries. In other words, it's a form of racism. And I'm not even talking about the individuals themselves. I'm talking about the industry. I think the industry's toxic and needs to change, and there you go. Fuck. There you go. If you think I'm targeting individuals, aside from like the crazy-ass fans, need to knock that shit off. But like, again, I have no problem with the idols themselves. This is clearly a job they want to do, and they want to make music. I just think the industry's toxic as hell. Anyways, I've been Grizzly Station, and you've just been talked to about stuff you didn't want to know.